And we're on. Sweet. Hello, everyone. I'm Brendan Dwyer with WestWard Media, and welcome to the 10th episode of Asked and Answered here on WestWard Media. Today, we're going to be joined by Brianna Grace, who is the artist who actually inspired this whole series. And she is already on, and we are going to jump right into this. All right. She's on. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. It's been, wow, years since we saw each
I
other
think
last
so.
night.
I think when's the first time we met? I think it was like 2014 at the Limelight Awards
I know it was the Limelight
or
Awards that
20,
I know, yes.
2012 or 2014, one of those two, or 20, I don't know, around
Yeah,
there, in between 2012 and 2014.
the early 2010s, yes,
Yes,
definitely.
yeah.
Yes, and my God, first off, I just want to say again, thank you for inspiring this series. Thank you for doing that Q&A you did all those years ago, and thank you for literally answering every single one of my questions I submitted to
Oh,
you.
of course. I thought that was such a cool idea, and it was a fun thing to end the Q&A with. As much as I am kind of awful at actually choosing things, like I'm one of those people that if you ask me what my favorite movie is, I'm like, I can't give you just one. Um, but the idea, but at the same time, I've always loved that kind of rapid fire style because it doesn't give you time to overthink it. You just have to pick something. And it can be really funny. So I thought it was a great thing to end with.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I am absolutely thrilled to have you for our 10th episode, and this is going to be an absolute blast. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right. Kicking off as we did before, and some of, like I said, a lot of these will be the ones you've already answered before, but this just to show how we've grown since then with the
Okay.
series.
Okay.
Kicking off, hamburgers or veggie burgers?
Hamburger. I just tried a veggie burger for the first time though the other day. So we've had growth
Yeah,
since the last time I answered that one.
yeah. I was thinking, I was like, oh, has she had one since then? All right. Let's see if this one's updated. Puppies or kittens?
Puppies. Same.
Still puppies. All right. Manicures or pedicures?
Mm, mm. Like what's more relaxing to receive? Pedicure. I usually say manicure though, just because people like see that on you more often. Like it makes you look more polished. Like no one, unless I'm wearing flip flops or sandals, no one sees my feet, like my toenails. Um, but I also play guitar, so manicures don't really last. So probably pedicure.
Yeah, yeah. So many people have brought that up since
Yeah.
then, and every time I always go back to you, I'm like, yep, she said the same thing. Pedicures because manicures never last.
Everyone keeps telling me to try the dip, but I get weirded out by it because I know a lot of people where it kind of ruined their nails, especially if they tried to take it off themselves. And I was like, I don't have time for that. So it's fine.
Yeah, yeah, totally get it. I actually just had a pedicure yesterday too.
Perfect. I love men that have no problem going and getting pedicures because honestly, they're awesome. They're so relaxing and it can really actually help your feet. Like there's more to it than just painting your nails, guys. So,
Yeah, like yeah, I like it's yeah, like they're not gonna color our nails, but if
right.
anything,
Yeah,
I feel like we need them a little more because I think our feet get a little rougher faster.
probably, especially if you wear work boots and stuff.
Hmm. Okay. Tigers or lions?
Lions.
Lions. Okay. Here's a new one. French fries or onion
Oh,
rings?
French fries. 100%.
Nice. Favorite season?
Fall. I don't care if it's basic. I really like fall.
All the way.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite place to travel?
Oh, geez. I'm not sure yet. It's if I had to say like drivable distance from where I live like just a quick getaway, probably New Hampshire, because that's where the mountains are. Like that's where the closest mountain range is to me, or Maine. But pretty much anywhere where mountains are is my biggest thing. Like really, really big, beautiful, like national parks and mountains. I don't know if I could, again, I don't know if I could pick just like one particular place, because there's so many places I haven't been yet that I want to go to. Like something else could end up becoming my favorite place. I don't know yet. So
That actually reminds me, is that like where you were proposed to on a mountain?
Oh, I wish. I was proposed to, it was kind of close though. It was on like a nature walk. It was on like it was actually in a cranberry bog that I grew up living right across from. So it was like my cranberry bog, like my space. And it's where we take our dogs on all of like our nature walks and trail walks and stuff like that. And there's a really pretty pond in the back, and that's where he did it. He probably would have done it at the top of a mountain or on a bigger hike, but unfortunately he sustained a leg injury, like a really, really bad one, when he used to work in construction, and he can't really do big hikes anymore. So to save his leg a lot of pain and potential further injury, we stay on more flatland. So, but it was perfect.
What's one song you wish you wrote?
Oh, that's a really good question. I've always kind of gone back to like The Dance by Garth Brooks. I love, love, love that song. Marry Me by Thomas Rhett is a huge one that I wish I, like, literally the first time, I think Shane McAnally wrote that song, but the first time I heard that song, I was like listening, I'm like, this, I don't know if you know it, but I was like, this is, oh my goodness, this is such a cute song. This is going to be in so many weddings and blah, blah, blah. And then the punchline hit, like the tagline hit at the end of the chorus. And I was like, oh, I was like gutted. And I was like, oh, and I was like, wait, but that's so good. I wish I wrote that. And like, that was one of the first songs, like while listening to it for the first time, I was like, I wish I wrote this. So probably that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, The Dance is another classic. I think I actually prefer Lauren Duskey's cover of that I heard like years ago.
Sneak peek, that's actually going to be the father-daughter dance at my wedding.
Aww.
So, and it seems like a really weird father-daughter dance song, I know. But that's like mine and my dad's song together. Like when I was from the time I was born to the time he couldn't physically hold me for that long anymore. Every night to get me to go, like before I went to bed, he would like hold me and dance with me in the living room to that song. So Aww. It has to be our father-daughter dance.
All right. Favorite Disney movie?
Can I say Star Wars? Because technically Star Wars is Disney now.
That's true. I mean, Marvel, Star Wars, they're all Disney. Disney owns mostly everything.
Yeah, so we'll say Star Wars.
The Force Awakens, like, are we talking one of the newer ones or the earlier ones?
I love the whole series. I do love The Force Awakens. That was probably one of my favorites. And I think they did a really good job kind of bringing the Star Wars world back to life. Because I know there was a ton of there was a lot of skepticism after Disney took ownership and they started releasing new movies. People were like, "This is going to be awful," but it was actually really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think of the three sequels, I prefer The Force Awakens.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Oh, here's a new one: pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
All right. What'd you want to be when you were 7?
A singer. I did go through a phase though where I also said a lawyer or a chef. The lawyer thing, still to this day, so many people in my life are like, you should have been a lawyer. I'm a very like factually based person. And like when for example, My dad was always the type of parent where if I, like, when I wanted my first cell phone at like 14 years old, he was like, you need to prove to me why I should do this provider versus this provider and why you should have one. And I swear to God, I literally like did research and presented him with like a 4-page report. And guess what I got for Christmas that year? But when I was 7 or 8, my mom still has copies of it. I decided to create a contract for my parents to sign regarding what chores I will do and what my allowance for the week will be for said chores. At like 8 years old, I did this.
Like Sheldon Cooper.
And I even put like, if I don't complete one of the chores, you may deduct like 50 cents from the pay. Stuff. I have it somewhere. But majority of my life, it was always like a singer.
Nice. Favorite holiday?
Christmas and Halloween are kind of tied for me.
All right, so there's an update right there with one.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC?
Probably Marvel. But I love Batman.
I just saw the Batman again today.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. I'm like trying to avoid all the spoilers. I'm like, please, please don't. Like, so I'm hoping to see it. If not next weekend, the weekend after. Life is just hectic right now. So, but I've heard it's phenomenal.
Yes, it is. What's your favorite Marvel movie and what's your favorite DC movie?
DC could be undetermined because I kind of have a feeling this new Batman might turn into one of my favorites. The Joker was so good though. Like Joaquin Phoenix, like I bow to Joaquin Phoenix. Marvel, I'm an Iron Man gal. So like take your pick for Iron Man movies. I love his whole series, so
yeah. Okay. From Marvel and DC, I think we can all agree like Spider-Man and Batman have been like two of the most iconic heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say is your favorite Spider-Man of the three who have played him, and who would you say is your favorite Batman of those two you've seen who have played him so far?
Not gonna lie, I really liked Tom Holland. I think.
All right.
But I feel like it's Andrew, right?
There's Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
I feel like they do a really good job casting the Spider-Man movies. And I feel like they choose guys that are very similar to each other. Like, it's, like, really similar. I feel like Toby's always just going to be, like, my main man because he was, like, the OG. So we'll say him. And he's, like, him with the paparazzi is hilarious. I just like his vibe. Yeah. For Batman... I kind of have a feeling Robert Pattinson is going to be my favorite. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to I don't want to say it yet because I haven't seen it, but just based off the trailers and what I've heard from people and knowing his, just being a fan of his work in general, I kind of have a feeling he might end up my favorite. I'm going to preemptively say that because I have confidence. I have confidence in him.
Yes. All right. Now, this one I remember you said you were very bad with. Favorite film in general? What's your favorite overall film?
This is what I'm really bad at. I'll sit here and be like, can we break it down into genre and then have like a top 5 per genre? And when it comes to films, my fiance likes to say that I'm kind of like movie deprived. Obviously the superhero movies, the Star Wars, the Star Trek, Forrest Gump, like certain classics, obviously, I've seen those. But I don't watch a lot of TV. therefore I don't watch a ton of movies like on the regular unless it really sparks my interest and like I want to see it. If I think back to like movies that just are kind of my go-tos, I feel like I'm gonna get judged so hard for this.
I remember you saying stuff like Harry Potter, Fast and Furious, because Cars,
Fast and Furious
and the
is
Devil
definitely
Wears
one.
Prada.
Fast and Furious is definitely one of my big. I only go to Fast 5 though. Usually, I'm not gonna lie. Like they just kind of, I think they've surpassed the amount of sequels they should have done.
I saw 7 and I was kind of done after that because I was like, I
after 6
don't
or
want that to
7,
be.
I think the first 5 were really solid. 6 was okay, and then it hit 7, and I was like, okay, like this might be too much of a good thing. And they're kind of starting to just like it's like hitting the repeat button. You know, obviously Star Wars is a classic. I like series, if you couldn't tell, because I like having that progression and kind of like being able to have a marathon with it. Although The Devil Wears Prada is a classic for me. I love Anne Hathaway. And Meryl Streep is like a goddess. I'm gonna get judged so hard for this one, I think. One of my guilty pleasure ones, I'm not gonna lie, is Twilight.
Okay.
Just in high school, it was massive when I was in high school, and I was an avid book person, so of course I read the series because everybody was reading the series, and I didn't hate it. And I like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson like as people, and I knew they were going to end up being like really good, like big actors and actresses. And I'm so proud of them for what they're doing now, and like they're proving people that they're more than just Twilight. Because Twilight is kind of cringy, the movies, I will give it that. But it's kind of like a comfort thing for me, if that makes sense. And I actually sometimes like dabble in some cosplay with it, because literally like all throughout high school, people were like, you are basically Bella Swan. And I was like, thanks.
Quickly, because I was talking about this with one of the LMTs I went to yesterday. Did they change the ending at all from like how that whole battle sequence ended up just being a dream? Was that like how it went in the book as well?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. Alice like kind of did show Aro, like the Volturi guy, the bad vampires. She kind of did show them like, hey, this is how stuff's going to go down if you try and do this. But obviously for the films, to have that level of interest and excitement and shock factor and stuff to make it a better film, they like super elaborated it, and like showed
people were
and like made it like a full-on thing, when in the book it was a little bit more of like a glossed over, like she just showed him and he was like, well, it looks like we shouldn't do that today, you know what I mean? Obviously for the movies they have to like beef it up, and they did a good job, so
right. Okay. Your music idols.
Garth Brooks, that one still holds true. I think I said that one last time. Again, might get some hate for it, but Miss Tay Swift, I love her. I am definitely a Taylor stan. I'm a Swiftie. Hate to say it, but I also don't hate to say it. But I think I very much respect how she has handled herself and how she runs her business, if that makes sense. Like beyond the fact that she's just a ridiculously good songwriter, as a fellow businesswoman and as a fellow musician, I really, really like how she has handled herself and how she runs everything. Above all else. So.
Awesome. Okay. Ticklish feet, yes or no?
Yeah, still that. Yep.
Tickling in general for you, would you say it's ever like fun for laughter, or is it always just like torture for breathing for you?
I'm one of those people where it's like I cannot be held responsible if you get hurt. if you try and tickle me, because I will flail. Like, you might get punched in the face. So by accident, you might get like an elbow. Yeah, that's that.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
oh. All right. Favorite type of food?
Barbecue.
Yep, same. Uh, Favorite sport?
I think I said the same thing a couple of years ago. I love to dance, and dancing is 100% a sport. You can't tell me otherwise. 100%. As far as watching, I still really like to watch hockey the most, I think.
Yeah, I've been to a few myself.
It's more fast paced. There's more going on. Like, I'm sorry. I've been to a couple baseball games and I don't get it. Like, I'm just bored. I need more action to keep me entertained. No offense to any people who love baseball. It's just not for me.
I've been injured at a baseball game, and that was not fun.
Injured?
Someone someone hit a foul ball. It clipped the bat. It was being thrown at 95 an hour, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Hey, what's that coming up?" Right in the arm.
No. Well, I mean, you must have had good seats for that to be able to happen, but.
And I was originally going to be one row forward. That could have been in the throat. But what's even more sad is they didn't even offer to have the player sign the ball after.
Oh, rude.
Yeah. So apparently, I don't know how in the world of physics this worked, but it hits, bounces backwards instead of forwards, and lands in a kid behind me's glove. And then his father's like, "You should probably give that to him. You know, he got hit by that, and that spot of red, I'm not sure what that is."
Oh my goodness. At least the dad was good about it and was like, he should probably have it because he got hit by it. Good on teaching your son a good moral lesson, but like...
Indeed. Oh, I see Kayla joined. Hello, Kayla. All right. Favorite book?
Again, judge me all you want. Comfort thing, like a comfort go-to. Like, I will reread the Twilight series sometimes. The Hunger Games series was good. As I've gotten older, I gravitate more toward like kind of really boring, like business or inspiration or like finance type stuff. But if I do read something like for pleasure, I've kind of been getting more into like murder mystery style stuff.
Those are good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you like magic?
I do. Let me rephrase. I do if it's done well. I think I said this last time too, and I still stand by that, because there's some, like, I want to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when you watch magic, you want to believe it. You don't want it to be obvious that it's just an illusion trick. So if it's done really well, I'm like, this is so cool. If it's not, I'm just kind of like, bro, I know how you did that.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if I'm watching any act on AGT, whether it's magic or mentalist, I'll be like, if I can figure it out and it's very basic, I'm like, that wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're ever looking for fantastic magic, Matt Franco from Rhode Island.
Yep, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah. What's the best surprise you've ever experienced?
Probably being proposed to. So, different one from last time.
Yes.
I don't remember what I said last time, or is this a new question?
I think that one was your boyfriend got you a guitar for your birthday.
That's kind of, wow. That's, I was wow, wait, being real mushy over here. Both of them revolved around him. But no, he's actually really good with it. I like surprising other people. I'm like a probably borderline anxious planner. And I love planning surprises for others, but I hate them for myself because I like knowing what's going on. But obviously, if you can actually pull off a surprise for me, I love it. Like, it's just, I need to literally have zero clue that it's happening. And he, in the couple of years since I made that first one, he has successfully surprised me with that keyboard. He has surprised me with a new mountain bike on Christmas. Like total. So he even tried to wrap it and put it under the tree like Santa Claus. I had no clue. He did it after I went to bed. And then the being proposed to. But I just got him back, and I don't think he'll ever be able to top what I just did. So I win.
Ooh.
I gave him his wedding present like really, really early. But I surprised him with a 1990s Chevy truck.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So really, really early, but like wasn't gonna let it not be in the garage. So I had to give it to him so it could be in the garage.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. What's something super random about you that no one would ever guess?
I remember this question. What did I say last time?
I'm not sure if I even asked you this question.
I feel like
someone else might have.
Something really random about me that no one would ever guess. That's a good question. These are the types of questions I have to really sit here and think, because I can never, I'm like, am I really that interesting? A lot of people probably would not guess that I've actually kind of started cosplaying, which is something I always wanted to do, but I was kind of, for some reason, too afraid to. And quarantine just, you know, we all dove into new hobbies finally during quarantine. So that's one that I think something that might really surprise people about me, if you don't know me, is that I'm a gearhead, and like I love cars, and I work at a garage. So it's, you know, that's probably something people probably wouldn't expect from me.
You love the Furious films. I kind of would guess that, actually.
Yeah, you would, but like if people don't know me, you know what I mean? Like just
Okay.
looking at me, you probably wouldn't be like, she works at a garage. She really likes cars, you know? So.
All right. Favorite spa treatment?
Either a massage or a facial.
Yep, that was like the last thing I did yesterday.
I get massages all the time. I never did until like 2 years ago, when a friend of mine was actually going through massage therapy school. And I volunteered as tribute to be his guinea pig to help him gain like hours that he needed in order to graduate. And I think I was the first person he ever gave a massage to, like, and he had to like practice everything and remember the sequences and everything. And now I'm one of his customers. Like now I'm like, wow, this is great. Like I don't want to stop getting massages. But I've only had one facial, but it was a really, really nice experience. I should probably go again for another one soon.
I would. Yeah. Like yesterday, I got like a 3-hour session. That was like a mix between the two.
I saw that. That was like, whoop, that must have been the nicest day.
And I had like 3 other treatments beforehand, and yeah, she did like a chocolate facial. She took a photo of it.
I think I had a when I went, I had a gift card. That's why I went, and I think I had a like a pumpkin something or other one. It was around fall, so it was like
it's very seasonal.
It was like a
theme.
pumpkin moisturizing yet exfoliating. It wasn't anything crazy because it was my first facial. I didn't know how my skin would react. But it was very, very nice. And they do like the hot mitts on your hands and like massage your hands and your neck and which I didn't expect. And I was like, this is really nice. And with the wedding coming up and having more acne than I've ever had in my entire life because of masks, I should go get one. Maybe I'll treat myself.
I 1,000,000% recommend it.
All right.
And also, speaking of which, okay, favorite part of manicures?
Probably the hand massage. As someone who plays guitar and whatnot, like, and I don't always stretch my hands probably as much as I should. Yeah, probably the hand massage part. And then just afterward, looking at how like nice my nail bed looks and the fun colors I get to choose. Like just looking and being like, wow, my nails can look nice after the fact. But yeah.
What's usually like your preferred color?
I tend to go for kind of like mauve-y neutrals. Not like a nude, but like mauve-y, reddish, pinkish colors is what I normally go for. I just feel like they just look best with everything when it comes to manicures. But I've tried to get out of my comfort zone in this past year or so. Some of my girlfriends have me going for more regular manicures with them now. I think I've had more manicures in the last 2 years than I had in my entire life up to this point. But learning self-care is important. So I'm trying to be a little bit more daring. And like, if you see on my page here, when I got proposed to, I had like bright purple. I had bright purple. I did a really pretty like Caribbean blue at one point. Back in the fall, I did like a forest green, which was really cool. So I'm trying to branch out and be a little more daring.
Nice. And what would you say is your favorite part of pedicures?
The massage.
In the world.
And if they do the hot stones are really nice.
Oh, those are really
Yeah.
good. And colors, style the same?
Yeah.
With pedicures?
Sometimes I'll be a little more fun because especially if I get a pedicure like this time of year, because I'm like, no one's going to see it. But when I am at home, just like in my slippers or something, I can be like, that's a fun color, without having to worry about it like completely not matching anything. So
That's cool.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, the massage is always the best with those.
Yeah.
Like I went over the top every single session. I was like, focus there.
Mm.
First song you ever wrote?
I think I was 13, 14. I think it was called Stuck on You.
Okay.
I think I performed it like once at a school talent show, and that's it. I never did anything ever again with that song. But I think it was called Stuck on You.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Has there ever been a song you connected more to after you wrote it?
Yes, actually. That's a really good question. Actually, yes. There was one song, again, I never really did anything with this one because at the time I'd kind of written it for a friend regarding a situation she was a part of. And then I kind of ended up in that exact same situation, not even like a year and a half later. And I was like, wow, I get this. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, that actually has happened.
Cool. Do you have any favorite YouTubers that you like to watch online?
Yes.
Any YouTube artists or
Yes.
vloggers? Or
So like I said, I don't really watch much TV. If I do watch anything, it's usually YouTube because I can like just have it on my phone and take it with me while I'm doing stuff around the house, and it's quicker videos. I don't have to commit to like an hour-long episode if I don't want to. And I think that's a lot of people nowadays with how like go we all are. I tend to go between, like, I love Mia Maples. She's a Canadian YouTuber, and she does a ton of different types of videos, but she's just seems so sweet. Her and her mother are so much fun. It's just like hilarious and wholesome when they do stuff together. And then Brittany Morrow, she's a little bit more like family, but she does a lot of like recipes and clean with me's and organize with me. I love that type of stuff. The organization, the home decor, the home renovations. I used to watch Mr. Kate a ton. She has some really good home design stuff where she would go and like redesign people's spaces and whatnot. If I do watch TV, it's HGTV, so that makes sense that it would spill over into who I follow on YouTube. But those are probably some of my top ones that I watch.
Yeah, you know it too. I just remembered March, right around this time actually, is a big a lot of YouTube artists' birthdays are around this time. Tyler Ward's, Alex
Tyler
Scoot, Luke
Ward is
Connors.
just, he's so good. I used to follow him, so, like, I used to watch his stuff way more often, and I don't know why I stopped, but I should probably go back and watch some of his stuff again. But isn't this around the time of year where they do VidCon and stuff too?
VidCon is in June, but it keeps getting moved around, so I'm not sure when it's happening. I went for the 6th year, back when there were still a lot more YouTube artists attending. I think the year before there were definitely a whole lot more, but since then I think it's been a lot less and less and less of them, and now it's more just like the kids who just got the money and they're just literally posting anything these days. But I don't recognize any of them these days.
Actually, one of my friends it's my little sister's best friend. She's been like a little sister, another little sister to me since she was like 6 years old. They're 8 years younger than me, so there's a pretty big gap. So I was into like Neopets when I was a kid. I don't know if you remember Neopets.
I remember them.
That online game, but their generation was into Animal Jam. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
But she and her brother were actually like the top like male and female in Animal Jam, and they were both YouTubers showing gameplay and doing contests and all this different stuff. And she was like a full-time YouTuber while going to high school. And she actually was invited out to VidCon by Animal Jam like twice. And it was insane. I don't know if anyone in your or my following would have any idea what this is, but her name on the game and on YouTube was Bepper, I think. And she had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Like it was big. Her brother, I think, had almost 1 million at one point. So it's pretty insane.
Yeah. Speaking of gamers, someone who is both an artist and a bit of a gamer, just want to give a big little best wishes to the Grimmy family. Yesterday would have been Christina Grimmy's 28th birthday.
Oh no. Really? I remember when that happened and I was like literally shook to the core. Last time I saw her was the day before her last birthday. And I think it's really, I don't want to stay on the subject for too long, but I think it's, unfortunately what happened to her, I think is also a really humbling lesson for the rest of us in the industry, where it's like, we obviously love our fans so much. And like, we feel like they're our friends in a lot of ways. And we want to do stuff with them and be friends and like interact with them like as much as we can and whatnot. But it was just kind of this like humbling, unfortunate reminder of like, oh man, like you got to be careful.
Yeah, I think it was also a matter of they just weren't doing any security checks there at that venue.
They weren't.
There was no security. There was no metal detectors, no nothing.
See, yeah, that's not good, especially for an artist that was at her level at that point. Like they should have been. Like she was at a pretty decent level of her career at that point. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole other thing that I could get into and rant about with certain venues and stuff like that. But we'll let that lie.
Yeah. If there's any show you could be on, what would it be? Like as a guest star, a main star, anything that's current or past?
Like talk show or like actual TV series?
Like actual TV series, anything that's over already or still going? Supernatural.
I love that show. We just started rewatching it again. I love that show. I don't know why that's the first one that comes to my head, but it does. That's probably one of the only TV series that I like stuck to and like watched religiously. So probably Supernatural. Or Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna Gaines, hands
All
down.
right. And what's the first talk show you would do? Who would you want to have interview you first, either on a daytime, midday, night show?
Either Ellen or Jimmy Fallon or Kelly Clarkson, because like fellow musician, hello. So
All right. What was the first, if you have ever toured before, what was the first tour experience like? What was the first tour you ever did, and how was the experience?
So there were a couple stints of shows where, within a certain amount of weeks, I was like in New York, in Rhode Island, in Connecticut, in New Hampshire, in Maine, in Mass. Like I would typically do that more so over the summer. It's a lot of fun. It's very tiring though. If you're not someone that's good at not sleeping in your own bed or being on the road for long periods of time, like those car rides, it can wear on you really, really fast. And that was kind of one thing I realized the first time I did it. I was like, wow, like this is exhausting. Like kudos to the artists that are gone for like 6 months at a time. Granted, they have like the really nice tour bus with all the bells and whistles and a full bed and stuff like, but not everyone does. When you're first starting out, you don't. But it's a lot of fun. My experience was really positive as far as all the people I got to meet and the different venues I got to see, and just, kind of being able to do some sightseeing during the day, because I do love seeing new places. So I'd say my experience was really positive with it. It's a lot of fun, but at the end of it, you're very happy to be home in your own bed.
Yeah. Oh. What is your favorite color?
It's been blue my entire life, but I also really love green. But number one is blue.
All right. Little the colors of the earth kind of thing. All right.
I mean, if you couldn't tell, I'm very like earthy colors for the win.
Yeah.
Earthy neutrals.
What is your eye color?
Hazel.
Oh,
I
all right.
am of the slightly smaller percentage of humans.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite wild animal?
I love otters. That's so random, but the first thing that comes to mind is like a cute little otter. Yeah, probably an otter.
All right.
They're just adorable, and they're just so like, they're just cute and fun, and they just like chill all day.
All right. Would you consider yourself more of a city person or a nature person?
Nature, 100%. I didn't even have to hear you like finish that question. The city can be really fun for short periods of time, and it is a really like invigorating vibe, but it overwhelms me.
All right. Now, for nature, what are some of your favorite parts, and how do you connect with nature or get grounded with nature?
Hiking, for sure. Just literally going into the woods, or like walking trails, or even the bogs. Just literally getting outside and just completely unfiltered, like phone in my pocket, not on, like away, just kind of like listening to what's around me and enjoying the view. It becomes apparent very quickly when you're in big open nature like that, especially if you're hiking like a mountain range, especially when you hit the summit. You look around and you're like, wow, like there's so much out there. Like my problems are, I mean, not that they're still valid, any like stress or issues I was thinking of before starting like this hike or before reaching the summit here, like that's minuscule in the grand scheme of this whole world. It's this weird, humbling yet really invigorating and motivating scenario. when you are at the top of a mountain, or just in that like vast nature like that. You really kind of just feel like, you know, I might have some stuff going on sometimes, but it's gonna be okay. And like there's so much more out there and so many other things going on. Like, why was I so upset over like one little stupid thing? Why am I so upset about like someone cutting me off heading to work this morning? You know, it helps you to, like you said, really ground yourself and let go of some of that little stuff that I think we get too caught up in during the everyday go, go, go. And yeah, that's my spiel. Sorry,
That's awesome.
I could literally like go on a rant.
Funny enough, one of the questions someone else asked you last time about filling every square of your waffle with maple syrup. Do you remember that? Since then, that's like every time I'm having waffles, that's all I can do now. I'm like, I have to fill every square.
Yeah, it's just like a weird, like anal attentive
OCD
kind of thing. I just, ever since I was a kid, I'm like, this is not complete until I fill every square. Like, it needs to be even, and that way I can have syrup with every bite, and it's just the perfect combination. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just something that a lot of kids do because it's like fun to fill all the holes, like, and it just followed me into adulthood, and I'm like, no, this is the way it needs to be.
It's like when I would water the lawn, if any part of like the sidewalk got wet, I'd have to like make sure the rest of like those squared sidewalk
it's that weird like satisfaction thing. Like if you've ever seen those videos that people post and it's like the super satisfying videos where they like perfectly cut something in half, or you're like, oh, this is just so satisfying. So it's kind of that vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta crush the ice, gotta pop all the bubbles in the bubble wrap, all of that.
Yep.
Have you ever danced with a fan at a show?
Yes, multiple times, all the
time. Earlier on in your career, did you ever kiss a fan on a cheek at a show?
No, I don't think so. I think someone did it to me once, and respectfully, like they asked me first, which I very much appreciated. Did it to me once for like a funny picture that they wanted to take during one of my breaks or right after the show, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I had met them multiple times before, so it wasn't like super weird kind of deal. But no, I don't think I've done it to anybody.
All right. Let me see. Number 4. Ooh, this is good during this time of the year. Favorite Girl Scout cookies?
That's so weird. Should I have bought some today? We literally drove by a troop selling them down the street today. And I was like, Nick, should we get Girl Scout cookies? And we were like, no, let's be good. No more junk in the house. But we almost bought them this morning. It's always been a toss. I mean, if I eat them, I might regret it just because of my stomach issues. Any cookie. But I love cookies. So it's usually a toss for me between Thin Mints, the classic. And you got to freeze them. Caramel Delights or Samoas, whatever they call them. And then I like the lemon shortbread, I'm not going to lie. Because I am that person, if you put a piece of like triple chocolate cake or a lemon square in front of me, I'm eating the lemon square. I prefer strawberry shortcake over regular cake. Like, I like the more like light fruity type of desserts. So
I get that.
So that's probably my top 3 for Girl Scout. They've come out with a lot more though since the last time I had them. So I don't know. I have to look and see what they have now. Maybe I'll try some new ones.
Yeah, they come up with more and more new ones. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
What would you say is your favorite of each? Like your favorite fruit and your favorite vegetable?
I love strawberries and strawberries, watermelon, and apple. I have to be selective about which apples I eat, though, unfortunately. So probably strawberries and watermelon because I don't have to care about those. Vegetables, I love carrots. And I actually really like cauliflower. I feel like that's not a very popular one. And green beans. I like green beans. Like a good like roasted like steakhouse seasoned green bean.
All right. Are there any phobias or quirks that you have?
Yes. I have some weird ones. The first one, which I know I'm sure a lot of people have, and it's not necessarily something to laugh about, but if I can't laugh about it, whatever. So I've been pretty open about the fact that I do have anxiety. And part of it is the occasional bout of like some health anxiety in certain instances. And my entire life, literally from like 4 years old to now, I have like the biggest phobia of getting sick to my stomach. Like I get so nervous about throwing up. It's insane. So that's one phobia. And then when I was a kid, and even still sometimes to this day, this one I'm over, like as an adult, but I think there's a lot of kids that probably had this same thing. I did not like automatic toilets in the public restrooms. They scared the crap out of me, not to be punny, but they like, because they would always go off while I was still on them. It would like scare me so bad. But as I got older, it went from that to like public restrooms. At least in the, well, I guess men's restrooms have them as well with the stalls. But for some reason, the public toilets are always just coming out of the wall. Like they're mounted to the wall. And there's been some sketchy scenarios where I go in and it looks like the toilet's like separating from the wall. And I'm like, I'm going to sit on it and it's going to fall off the wall.
Yeah.
And that's like something that has crossed my mind so many times. Like it's kind of sad. So that's like a weird little like of mine. Those are the first two that come to my head. I don't know why. And I don't like spiders. I have a fear of spiders.
All right. Are there any animes or mangas that you like to read or watch?
You know, I've never necessarily gotten into anime. I don't know why. I know so many people, like I have so many friends that do love anime. But that's for some reason the one thing that I never got into. So I don't even know if I would have an answer for that. I don't even know one per se.
All right, no problem. When is your birthday?
May 20th.
All right, May 20th. I feel like I know someone else with that.
Cher.
I know quite a few artists with that birthday, actually.
Cher is one of them. The goddess Cher is one of them. I share my birthday with Cher.
Yeah, an artist who I know who basically saved my life, Kate Weston. Her birthday is May 20th, and as is like Jordan Pruitt, Rachel Platten, a couple of her idols.
Yes, I knew Rachel's was that day. Yes. I did see that once.
Okay. Are there any other unique facts you'd like fans to know about you?
Nothing that necessarily comes to the top of my head. I don't even know like what would be classified as unique per se. I don't know. I think I don't know if it's something that's super unique, but I think just as a general statement, as far as what I would like my fans to know, is that I want them to feel like they know me and, let them know that they're not alone in certain situations, and also let them know that in this kind of really overly saturated and unfortunately very edited world, like internet world and like social media world that we are in, I'm also just a regular person. And I have imperfections. I have insecurities. I'm never going to be the one that sits there and like Facetunes my photos. I can't. I don't even know how to use the app. So, um, you know, and I think that there's unfortunately this stigma with a lot of like celebrities and artists, and there's just so much like Photoshop and everything else out there at this point that I never want my fans to feel like I'm some like unattainable, like super perfect influencer kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's not me. And I think as much, you know, I do follow some of those people sometimes and whatever else. And I can very much appreciate a nice photo and stuff, but I think that it hits a certain level where unfortunately it can become very toxic, especially to younger minds. And I just want everyone to know that like my music and my page is like a safe space, and we don't cause issues, we don't judge, we don't like go off for no reason, we don't like send hate or anything like that. And it's okay to talk about stuff, and it's okay to be human. And that's my vibe.
Awesome. How tall are you?
5'5". Oh, hopefully I'm still 5'5". I don't know. The older I get, I'm like, man, I hope gravity doesn't just like take its toll. But 5'5".
5'5". All right. Natural hair color. Is this natural?
It's pretty natural. I have a couple highlights, and sometimes I'll put like a red tone to it. But dark brown. Yeah, dark brown is my natural color. I just like enhance it a little bit sometimes.
All right. Favorite candy?
I have a sweet tooth. As far as like chocolate goes, I do like chocolate, but like candy, I love Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh,
specifically the watermelon ones. Specifically the watermelon. That's a big one for me.
Yeah. I have an artist too. Whenever I go to her shows, I'll bring her bags and bags of that because
they're really good. And usually artificial watermelon can be tricky. I think a lot of like watermelon flavored stuff, it doesn't taste that great, but those are so good for some reason.
Yeah, I'm a big watermelon fan myself. Mm-hmm. Do you have cat paws? Like you're double or triple jointed?
No. Nope. I can't do any of that stuff. I can no, I can't even, never mind. I'm not even like this way. I can't do it. I can't do any of it.
What is your heritage?
Oh boy. I've been wanting to try one of those 23andMe things, not gonna lie. That I know of just based on like family history and discussions with my family and stuff. Mainly Irish and English. But I know I have some Polish and some German and some French Canadian.
Ooh, I know some French Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Of all those heritages, which food style would you say is your favorite?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I've never been asked that. That's a good question. Probably English, right? Because like barbecue, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If I had any ounce of Italian in me, I would say Italian, but I don't think I do. So, probably just English because barbecue cookout type food is my favorite. So, and I feel like that's a very like Americanized English thing. So.
Okay. Can you cross your eyes?
Yes, I can.
Can we see?
Oh, I hate doing it. Yeah.
You get a little headache right there.
I know. I get like the like, getting out of it, but.
What's something that's always a guarantee to make you laugh?
Probably like those really cute and funny like dog and cat videos that are online, not gonna lie.
I see those all the time and I send them out to friends. Now I know who
Yeah.
else to send them to.
That's probably one of the first things. I just love animals, so they do funny stuff sometimes.
When did you first start music?
The
At what
first,
age?
ooh, I started taking guitar lessons when I was 8 or 9. Um, the first time I physically recorded something, like the first time I stepped into a recording studio and made a CD, I was 11.
All right.
Yeah.
The first show you did, like the first professional show,
Mhm.
how did that opportunity come about?
Oh boy. What level? I guess.
Like a paid gig.
Oh boy. I don't even remember what my first one was. There's been so many.
All right.
I'm trying to think back to being like 18.
Or even the first tour, like the first tour you went on. How did that come about?
That stuff like that came about partially my own work with just contacting different venues and getting booked, but I do work occasionally with like a semi-local booking agent, and she helps to set a lot of things up. So a lot of that stuff came about from my booking agent.
Awesome.
But
All
first
right.
paid gig was just like me and my mom, like just trying to get stuff out there, and a couple different like restaurants or something like that were willing to take a chance, let me come sit in the corner and play. So
All right. Favorite actor and favorite actress?
mm, mm. I'm trying to think of like who really kind of like moved me in their films, if that makes sense. Like I'm trying to think back to some of my favorite films and who really kind of like probably I mean Joaquin Phoenix is like hit like the extent that he goes to for his characters, for one. Like
He starved himself for Joker.
literally, like he's ridiculously dedicated. So he's probably definitely one of my favorite actors. Like as far as actresses go, I just feel like there's so many people who have different styles. So you've caught me in one of these things again where I'm like, I can't pick one.
I know you were saying before, like Anne Hathaway,
Yeah,
Meryl
so
Streep.
that was one of my first ones that pops up is Anne Hathaway, but I also love, and I feel like she has a certain style for sure. Between like Devil Wears Prada, Princess Diaries, things like that. But I also love, I think there's a lot of actors and actresses who have a really big range of types of characters they can play. And then there's some who have like a niche, where they have like a very specific style that they are so good at. And that's kind of the realm that they remain in most of the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like they're really good at that, like, one kind of realm, like how Adam Sandler is mainly a like comedic actor. But as far as like people who I think are really versatile with what they can do and like the spectrum that they have, like of skill that they have, Joaquin Phoenix is definitely one. For the females, I love Meryl Streep. She's like a legend. She's one of the first ones that comes to mind, so I'll probably just say her because I could sit here and think for like an hour on it. So
Yeah.
I'll spare you that.
All right. Favorite show to watch as a kid?
Oh boy, how little of a kid are we talking?
Like either 7 or 10, 5, 12, whatever. Like what were your favorite shows growing up as a kid?
I was honestly one of those kids that would come home and watch my movies. I had all the VHS tapes, and I'd watch all like the Disney princess movies and Mary Poppins. I loved Mary Poppins. As far as TV shows, when I was like a little kid, the first ones that pop into my mind are Magic School Bus and The Big Comfy Couch.
Yep. I remember Big Comfy Couch.
I even had a couple Big Comfy Couch episodes on VHS and the Magic School Bus. So those are the first two that come to mind. And then like Blue's Clues and like the typical kid stuff. Out of the Box was a good one. Then as I got a little older, I loved like Full House and Boy Meets World. Those were.
I'm re-benching Boy Meets World.
And then I got into like some of the Disney ones, mainly like Lizzie McGuire was a big one. And after that, I don't know. I think it was more when I hit high school, it became more like Supernatural and a couple other things sporadically. I was a slight overachiever and would literally go to school, come home, do homework, eat dinner, go back for 3 hours to the school for theater rehearsals Monday through Thursday. So I didn't have a lot of time to watch a ton of TV. So yeah, that was probably the extent of it.
Yeah. Funny you were mentioning Magic School, but not Magic, Big Comfy Couch. I was telling someone before, we had like one of those stuffed dust bunnies when I was younger.
Yeah.
And the photo we used for my dog's box when we cremated him was this photo of him with the dust bunny in his mouth. So he's just acting all sweet and gentle, and the dust bunny's just, his mouth is hanging open while he's in my dog's mouth.
I love that.
All right. What questions do you get asked the most often from fans?
From fans. I'm trying to think. One that I get asked a lot is, like, if I sing one of my originals, they'll be like, "What's that about? Why'd you write that? Who'd you write that about?" It's a big one, which I try to, I elude that question a lot of the time. I'm not out here to, like, publicly shame people. But that's a lot of it's about my songs, and then it's a lot of like, when's your next one coming out is like the majority of what people ask for.
Do you have any unique or remarkable memories growing up that just always stick with you? Like, I'll give you an example. Like when I was younger, I was in this butterfly exhibit, and a butterfly landed on my lap and sat on me for 10 minutes. Like anything that pops in your head, that's like a 1 in a million experience.
That's a really good, you're asking some really good questions. Like I need to think. First one that pops into my head, I don't know if you or anyone here believes in this type of stuff, but I am like almost falling off my stool here. I hate they're like the metal ones, and I'm like sliding. I unfortunately growing up experienced a decent bit of loss as far as like losing all my grandparents within a short like time span and stuff like that. But there's been a couple times where I've had some really weird things happen surrounding that. And like remarkable is probably a good word for it. Actually my mom, my sister and I were just talking about this, I think yesterday. So funny it came up again. But after my grandfather had passed, and we had just lost my grandmother a year before, and they were high school sweethearts. So we were literally like at the gravesite for his funeral. And there was this huge, it's like on a hill. So we're all standing on the hill, and there was this huge floral arrangement from the funeral, that had was leaning, because they're so top heavy. It was like leaning over. Middle of July, no wind, wicked sunny, nice weather. And the minister started talking about how they were high school sweethearts and how they're together again and how happy they must be. And this like 100-pound floral arrangement just goes whoop and stands up. And she stopped what she was saying and just stared. And the rest of us were like, you saw that, right? That's okay. And she like even stumbled and was like, see, that's them letting us know that they are together again and they're happy. And we were like, uh-huh. And then another time was when my dead grandfather called my house. Yeah. So my dad's parents lived with us. My papa passed when I was 10. And years later, my mom and I were standing in the kitchen on like a random Monday around lunchtime, and the phone rang. So mind you, when they lived with us, they were in an in-law apartment. They had a totally separate phone line with a totally separate phone number. That, you know, back when people had landlines. And they never had like their names, and they never had anything to do with like our bills, like our phone, our internet, and they had all their own stuff. And my dad has the middle initial F because they have the same first name and last name as my grandfather. But my dad has the middle initial F and my grandfather had the middle initial L. So that's what differentiated them. And my uncle was in the hospital at the time, so my dad's brother. And we didn't know what was going to happen. And it was only a few weeks before the anniversary of my grandfather's death as well. And my mom and I are standing in the kitchen. It's a random Monday at like 11 a.m. And the phone rings, and I go over to look at the caller ID to see who it is. And it's my grandfather's name, like first name L. Grace, right? But it's my parents' phone number calling itself. I swear to God, I took a picture of the caller ID with my cell phone, and I still have it to this day because no one believes me when I say it. And then I show them the picture and they're like, oh, that's really weird. Okay. Huh?
I was saying that's spooky.
Yes, right? That's like the first thing that always comes to my mind is like, that was weird and remarkable. So those are the first ones that come to my mind, whether or not you kind of like believe in or vibe with that kind of stuff. That's totally at each person's discretion, but it was really weird. It was really weird.
All right. What was your favorite school subject, and what were some of your favorite after-school activities?
No. English and theater. In that order. Theater. English for my subject and theater for after school.
All right. Are there any artists that you'd like to quickly plug in here? Any projects that you'd like to plug in here?
Projects. I actually was back in the studio recently. And the song that I recorded, it's not country. I've kind of, as I've gotten a little bit older and you know, realizing what I listen to on a daily basis, and I like everything. And country's still like my home per se. But I love experimenting, and like I look at like Taylor Swift and I'm like, if she can try different things, like I think artists should try different things. It helps them grow. It helps to keep your interest and keep your creativity going. So I recorded a not country song that I hopefully will be releasing in the near future. So there's that. And then any artist so just as like a kind of like proud music scene older sister moment, because I've always felt like that to her. Like I've always felt very protective of her since first meeting her when she was like 16. But my friend Lauren Weintraub, I don't know if you've heard of her. She has blown up in this last year because of TikTok and everything else. She is a phenomenal songwriter. Like gives Taylor Swift the biggest run for her money. I will say that. I'm not confident in this girl. But she is releasing a new song actually this Friday. And she has a couple other songs on Spotify that you can listen to. And she's actually up for an iHeartRadio Music Award right now. Yes. Oh, wow. So, if voting is still open, I can't remember if it is. Yesterday may have been the last day, but if not, please go vote for her, because I love her, and I love her, and I believe in her so much, and she's so talented, and she's like the sweetest person, and she's so chill, and she's gonna do things, and I'm so excited for her. So go check her out. And it's Lauren Weintraub. It's like WEINTRAUB. But you'll find her on TikTok and Spotify and stuff.
Awesome.
I just want her to release everything she ever writes, because she's so good.
Are there any songs you've ever submitted to shows or to other artists for them to try to perform, or for the shows to play?
Yeah, so actually my song Test Drive was actually, who was it? Maddie and Tay and Mickey Guyton. I think the Test Drive was actually pitched to their teams.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Are there any ways you've tried to get yourself out of your comfort zone?
I think one would be most recently recording a not country song, for sure. That super took me, even though I listen to all different types of genres every day, and I sing all different types of genres at my gigs now. I've never personally written or recorded something that wasn't, primarily country style. And it was weird. It was really weird. Like not having the twang when I sing, not have, so that definitely took me out of my comfort zone. I've been trying to just do more things that take me out of my comfort zone in general in life these last few years, because you don't grow in comfort zones. So, but exactly. Music wise, that's one of the most recent ones.
Awesome. Favorite streaming service?
Probably Spotify. That's what I use every day anyway. I do not agree with a lot of their legal things, and their royalty rights and their royalty rates. That is not okay with me. But I think they do have the most variety, and I love a lot of the podcasts they have on there. So I do use Spotify.
Yeah, sorry. I was actually cool to know that. I was actually talking about like TV, like streaming services like Netflix,
sorry.
Disney+.
I automatically jumped to music. Probably still good old Netflix. That's where I find myself a lot of the time. Yeah. Although we've been using Hulu a lot more too, and we actually have we don't have cable, we have Sling. So we get cable channels, but it's all streamed. But we primarily use Netflix and Hulu.
All right. Let me see. Favorite flavor ice cream?
Oh boy. I'm like cookies and cream, chocolate chip cookie dough, but I also love mint chocolate chip.
My favorite.
Mint chocolate chip is like a go-to, for sure.
just like the Thin Mint cookies. We're mint lovers.
Like if I go to Dairy Queen, I'm getting a mint Oreo Blizzard, because it's the perfect marriage of like the cookies and cream and the mint.
Absolutely. Are there any other strange or unique facts you've... Oh, wait, sorry, I misread that. What are some of the strangest or most unique facts that you've ever learned in your life? Like something you found out there, like, wait, that exists, or wait, that's how that works?
I think the first thing that pops into my mind is some of the most random laws that some states still have that were created like hundreds of years ago. Like there's one, I forget which state it is, but there's one state that still has the law that you can't walk around with an ice cream cone in your pocket. I forget which state it is, but it's a thing. So I think it's that definitely that type of stuff's the first thing that comes to my mind where I'm like, why? Like who and why?
I know there's some states where it's like you can't buy a toothbrush on Sundays or something like that.
Really weird, like really, really weird. So probably that.
It's unique.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Favorite gaming systems and favorite games.
We're very old school in this house. We do have an Xbox One, but we actually use our N64 and our Sega more often than the Xbox One. Growing up, I was an N64 and PS2 person. Those were my two growing up.
Yes.
Then we switched to Xbox One a couple years ago when my fiance purchased a new system. Mainly because that's what most of his friends had. But I mean, we were just using our Sega last night, so
yeah,
we like old school.
Yeah, I tried to buy a PS2 a while back, and I got a PS3 thinking I could play PS2 games. Turns out I couldn't. You have to get a certain one, so I got a little gypped. But oh my god, yeah, the N64 games are still like
Super Mario
whenever
64
I'm at a convention, if they have those
Kart.
games there, I'm playing.
Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart.
Yes. All right. Game systems, YouTubers, artists, favorite cookies in general, like your favorite overall cookie.
Probably just classic chocolate chip. You can't go wrong with a classic chocolate chip cookie. Like if I had to pick one, just go back to the basics.
All right. Coffee or tea?
I really enjoy both, but on a regular basis, I drink more coffee.
Okay. Are there any guilty pleasures that you have?
In what area of life? Like food-wise, entertainment-wise?
Any of those.
Twilight? Like I said earlier. Like my comfort series and like guilty pleasure, Twilight.
All right. Do you have any favorite winners from competition series like Idol, AGT, The Voice?
Carrie Underwood is definitely one. But I don't know, I tend to almost kind of root more for the underdog, and I think you're better off coming in like 13th place on those shows than in the top 5. Because then you're not under contract with them for so many years to like go on their tours and stuff, but you could still get picked up by a label and do your own thing. Daughtry's another one. I love them.
Yeah, Daughtry really should have been the top. That was a very
that was a weird season in general. We just forget about that season. The best thing was Daughtry.
Yeah. I'm actually going to see next weekend Cassidy Pope and Philip Phillips on 2 different days, which I'm very excited for.
I forgot about them.
Ooh, here's a fun one. As we're getting towards the last few, your celebrity crush.
It's changed throughout the years. Robert Pattinson's been one, I'm not gonna lie. Who else did I like? I feel like as I've gotten older, like I don't think about that stuff as much anymore. Like I don't really have one per se. We're just gonna say Robert Pattinson because Twilight's my guilty pleasure, and now he's Batman, so
Yeah,
we'll say him.
All right, I think we're coming towards the last few questions. Plus, I think the connection's getting a little glitchy.
Okay.
Are there any other facts you'd like to share? like about yourself with fans? Any other facts you'd like to share?
Um, I don't think so. I think we covered a lot, and like I said earlier, just know that I'm human too. I'm a normal person, just like everybody else, just like you are. And, you know, I hope that you continue to enjoy my music and that I can meet you in person at some point if we haven't already. And I hope my music and my page and everything else is a safe space for you. And I always want my community to feel that way. So.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, I think that cut a little, but yes. I think we are approaching the end now. I think that is pretty much it. So thank you so much, Brianna, for coming on for the 10th episode of Asked and Answered.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honestly so honored that I even inspired like a whole series just from my one little Q&A. That's so awesome. So thank you.
Absolutely, yes. This show is centered around what you did. That's where this grew from. That's where it came from. And I've met quite a few amazing people through it. So thank you for that.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad.
We're paused.
Oh, you're back.
Are you still there?